Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us learn about commonly used record types. Even those record types you will use whenever you're creating your DNS or whenever you're hosting your website. This video is very useful to you. These record types are very important and basic, very highly used while domain hosting. And even these record types are supported by Route 53 as well. Let's say you have a host name, that is you buy it either from Route 53 or from general domain name server purchasing places. You bought a website, that is like, let's say example is www.btexpark.com. You buy this website. Now you want to map this website, you want to map this domain name. You buy this domain name from any one of the website. In AWS, Route 53 will provide you that service. So let's say you buy this domain and you have the IP address of your hosted zone. You have the IP address of your ELB. Now, How to map this to this? How to map this domain name to IP address? So by using which record we will map? By using which records we will map? So in order to map So in order to map your host names or domain names to IP addresses, we have two types of records available. So based on the IP address, we have two types of records available. So if your IP address is version 4, that means your IP address is IPv4 version. If you want to map to IPv4 address, if you want to map your domain name or host name to IPv4 address, then in this case, you need to choose the record type as a record. You need to choose your record type as a record. Let's say I am expecting to map my domain name or IP address, domain name or host names to IPv6 address. Then which which record type will prefer for me? Then which record type that I use? You use this 4A's. You use this 4A's. So since we are mapping to IP addresses, so based on our domain name, we are mapping to either IPv4 address or IPv6 address. We call these A record or AA record as IP address based records, right? Yeah. So IP address based records. So IP address based records. So we have two types of IP address based records. If you want to map from your domain name or host name to IPv4, then you use this single A type record. This single A is a record type. And if you want to map your host name or domain names to IPv6 address, then you use this type of record to map. That is 4A's. Okay. Now let us see first record type, then about that record. So MX record. So now let us see about MX record. So what is this MX record, sir? This MX record indicates it's a mail exchange record. What is this? It's a mail exchange record. So why do we use this MX record, sir? It is used to identify. It is used to identify email servers for your given domain. It is used to identify email servers for your given domain. It is used to identify your email servers for your given domain, right? Yeah. So do I have only one MX record or multiple? You can have multiple, more than one or one MX record. You can have either one or more than one MX records. You can have more than one MX records also. Okay. Then I have multiple MX records. Then how these are prioritized? These MX records are prioritized based on number. Which number? Priority number that you provided. Based on priority. Based on priority number you provided, these MX records will be identified, will be considered, you can say. So based on you provided priority number, these MX records are considered. Let's say I have two email servers. First server is primary email server, and second one is secondary email server. Now I provided for primary email server, my priority is 10, and for secondary email server, I provided my priority as 30. Now, which will be considered at first? Which will be considered at first? The lowest priority. The lowest priority server will be considered at first. Then it will move for highest priority. So primary email server will be considered first, and then it will move to the secondary email server. So this is about email server, that is a mail exchange server record. This is about mail exchange record. Let us see one more record type, that is TXT record. So what is this indicates? It's a text type record. So why this is used? It is used to provide. It is used to provide information in text format. It is used to provide information in text format to systems outside your domain. To systems outside your domain. So why this TXT record is used? It is used to identify the information in text format to the systems which are present in the outside of your domain. So next, let us see about one more, that is a CNAME record. It is very interesting type. What is this CNAME record? The CNAME record full form is canonical name record. So what is this? Canonical name record. So this is also mainly many times we use canonical name record. So what does this? Why do we use this? It is used to map a host name to another host name. It is used to map a host name to another host name. So why do we use this CNAME record? It's a canonical name record. It is used to map one host name to another host name. So in verification also we use this TXT record, whereas in mapping from one host name to another host name we use this CNAME record. For providing your mail information regarding to your email servers, you use this MX record. For mapping your domain names or host names to IP addresses, we use this A record or AAAA record. So based on your requirement, you choose the best option to provide your records, right? Yeah. Now you have seen the commonly used important record types. And in addition to these, let us see two more important DNS record types. So let us see two more important. Actually, these all record types till now you have learned, which comes under DNS record types. These all record types comes under DNS record types. So whenever you're creating your DNS server, then you need to provide almost all these record types. Now let us see the outside of the DNS scope. See, let us see the records which we use outside of the DNS scope. So we use alias record. So what record? Alias record. So why do we use this record? So if we want to map, so let us write this description as well. So why this record is used? It is used to map your custom host name in your domain to AWS resources. It is used to map custom host name to custom host name of your domain, custom host name in your domain, custom host name in your domain to what? AWS resources. So you can take the resources like CloudFront distribution, you can able to map it to CloudFront distribution and S3 bucket or website. S3 bucket static website. So what are the static website that you created by using the S3 bucket, or even you can map it to elastic load balancer as well, right? Yeah. So I think this Alias is having a lot of use case in AWS. Why? This is used to map your host name in your domain. It is used to map host name, custom host name in your domain to AWS resources. That means, can I say it is mapping my host zone? This Alias record is mapping my host zone to AWS records. Yes, we can able to say it is mapping from my host zone to AWS resources, right? Yeah. So which record is mapping? Alias. Alias record is mapping. So these maps are a host zone to AWS resources like CloudFront distribution or S3 bucket or website or elastic load balancer and so on. Multiple services we can able to map to our custom host name in our domain by using Alias record. Okay. You can also use this Alias record to Apex record. So what is this Apex record, sir? It is a Apex records are top nodes of your DNS namespace. So everyone will expect to put their domain names under the top nodes of DNS namespace in order to host their websites in top nodes of domain namespace. They use this Apex record. So while using this Apex records, this Alias records are used to map your Apex records. So when you want to put your hosted zone on top of your websites, then you need to put your hosted zone as a result of top nodes of your DNS namespace. So this Apex record will, these Apex records are the top nodes of your DNS namespace. So in order to provide your website as top search, you need to use this Apex record. So how this Apex record is mapped? This Alias record is used to map your Apex record. So that's why you need to use this Apex record as well. So these are the record types that you need to remember and utilize while using a DNS service or outside your DNS service in AWS while creating your or and registering your domain name and hosting your website. So I hope this video is contentful. If you feel this video is contentful and you learned something new from this video or you recapped something from this video, then please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video with another interesting content. Until then, bye bye guys.